what's up? This is a response to Doug Lander's top 10 most rented horror movies back in the day while you're growing up. And I'm just gonna go at complete random, no particular order. I'm just gonna count on my finger, 1 to 10, see how many I can find. So let's see. Bear with me. Child's Play 2. Uh, right here. Wait a minute. It's Child's Play 1. I'm tripping. I rented this a lot. I rented Child's Play 1 a lot too, but not as much as Child's Play 2 because I think, well, I'm not sure which one I saw first, but I know I rented this a lot because I always liked the scene where Chucky was stalking Andy in the basement with the washing machine and all that, and then he was beating the teacher with that yardstick. It's like those are the two main scenes that I always remembered until Bride of Chucky came out, and then I hadn't seen the Chucky movies in a long time, but this one was always the scariest, or until I went back and saw the first one, which I hadn't seen in a long time, which now I think is scarier than this, but this one always entertained me the most as a kid, and I didn't like 3 that much. I think I only rented it maybe once or twice, but this one, I found the most, whenever I went to the store, so I ended up renting this a lot. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see. So that's one. Let's see what else I read. Okay. So just looking in alphabetical order here. Friday the 13th. 1 and 2. Not sure which. Whatever. Yeah. Part 1 and 2. I think I saw Jason Goes to Hell first, and I liked that one, but I didn't rent it a lot. So I think I went back and saw this one first, and then I realized those movies were actually really scary at first, because Jason Goes to Hell is just kind of like popcorn fun, and I liked it that way as a kid. But then when I went back and rented this for the first time, scared the shit out of me. I was still, it takes a lot to scare me nowadays, but back then, I was still more easily scared, and it has a lot of suspense and everything, and I was thinking the killer might have been Jason, or at least a man, but I didn't even know that it was his mother the first time, so that was a good surprise for me. And then part 2, I was curious about after the first one, and of course it's Jason this time, and I was surprised not to see him in his hockey mask. He had a potato sack over his head. He kind of looked like just a mountain man, hillbilly type of killer, kind of like the killer in what's that other movie, Town That Dreaded Sundown. But yeah, it was still scary and suspenseful. It was still kind of new to me. I hadn't seen them all yet. I started with Jason Goes to Hell, and then went back to the first one, worked my way up through the series, and I kind of liked the first 3 the most. I didn't rent 3 a lot because I couldn't find it that many places, but yeah, these are the 2 I rented the most, just for the scare factor. So that's 3. Let's see. Scream 1 and 2. Yeah. I didn't see Scream 1 in theaters. I remember all the hype, and I was curious about it, but and I was hoping it was some kind of slasher movie, but for some reason somebody told me that it wasn't a slasher. It wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't a slasher movie. It's not about some killer stalking people. I don't know why the hell they said that, because it is. It is a slasher. It's just a kind of a spoof on lots of other slashers that came before it in the 80s. And yeah, I missed it in theaters, and then finally rented it when it came out, and scared the shit out of me. It's like, from start to finish, all good suspense, good gore, good dialogue, um, good good comedy. Like, I'm not sure. I guess you can sort of call it a slasher comedy, but leans more towards the slasher side, even though it's a spoof, but it's scary. It's not just a straight comedy spoof. Um, and then of course the twist ending. I love that. Everything about this movie I liked. I don't know why it gets bashed nowadays, but made a hell of a lot of money back then, and brought back the slasher genre for a little while. You know, yeah, I'll get to that one later. And then there's Scream 2, my favorite sequel out of the two and three. This was, written by Kevin Williamson again from part one, and let me see. I guess I don't need to go into the plot unless I do a review. I'll do a full review of these later. But yeah, again, it was scary, hip, entertaining. The quotes are true in my opinion. Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. I saw it maybe at least four or five times in theaters, and then always rented it up until I finally got a DVD player, and first bought Scream 3 and then got the box set, but I always rented this at Blockbuster, and I saw a lot in theaters, even when it got re-released in theaters. I don't know if it was the same year or the next year, but it got re-released in theaters before it came out on video, so it made a hell of a lot of money. Lots of people loved it, and yeah, Scream 2. What else? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 more to go. Halloween 1, the original. It's the first Halloween movie I saw, and scared the shit out of me. Loved it ever since I first saw it. It's a classic. What can I say about it? Without just going into a full review, which I'm going to do later. But yeah, I rented this weird Blockbuster version that was kind of cut a little bit weird. Like just a few seconds of frame, just from random scenes. It was, and the aspect ratio was kind of zoomed in a little bit. I don't know. It was a shitty Blockbuster version, but yeah, the movie itself, scared the shit out of me. It's like it kind of contributed to my OCD a little bit, where I just got this habit, just at night when I'm walking around the house, I'm always looking around corners, seeing if I don't see any sort of image of the shape or some kind of killer in the house, and it made me paranoid in general, kind of like the way the shower scene in Psycho changed how we think about taking a shower forever. Just you can't take a shower without thinking about the possibility of Norman Bates coming in there stabbing you, and it's like Halloween just makes you more generally aware of your surroundings. At least affected me that way. Like, just the way the way Michael Myers would have just appear and anywhere at any time, and he's so quiet and so graceful and just I don't know. It's a lot to explain. I'll do a full review of this one day. But yeah, I rented this a lot before I bought it.